Good morning. I'm John Ellsworth, founder of Success Strategies Incorporated and the creator of the Success Strategies Advantage. I want to welcome you to today's presentation, which I've entitled, Are You Feeling the Cash Crunch? Now, I think we all are in some respects, but what I'm referring to is, are you feeling the impact of inflation, particularly on your cost structure? Fuel is one good example that is up in a ridiculous amount the last couple of years. I think it could probably be solved somewhat. It could be more positive, let's put it that way, with clearer thinking and less political drama, but then I'll get on a tangent if I go down that road. So anyway, clearly we're paying a lot more for fuel. Labor, we're paying more for insurance, supplies, building materials, and you've got to be feeling the impact of these costs, these increased costs. And how about interest rates? That has been heavily impacted to the tune of almost 5% increase this year versus, say, January of 22. So if you're not feeling that, this is the highest inflation, by the way, since probably 1980. And the unfortunate thing is that these higher costs are probably here to stay, because typically when they go up, they don't typically come back down. They may come down a little bit, but not dramatically, not back to where we were 2 years ago. If you're not feeling the impact of all this inflationary pressure, I will state that you are truly living a charmed life. But the reality is, I think you know and I know that we're all feeling the impact of this. And as I said, these higher costs are around to stay. My whole point of mentioning this is not to commiserate it, not to, you have my sympathy, but I'm suffering from some of these things as well in my business and personal life. But the reality is, I think it points out the imperative of the necessity that we have to budget, and more significantly, or just as significantly, to manage that budget process. My business coach, Dan Sullivan, from The Strategic Coach, says the following, and I quote, "All progress begins with telling the truth." End of quote. What's Dan saying here? I think what he's saying is, you have to know where you are financially and in any other respect that you're measuring. You have to know where you are to begin with. You can't make improvement, not as dramatically or as quickly anyway, without knowing where you are. Again, I take you back to what I've said many times before, and this is particularly true on the financial side of your business and mine too. If you measure something, you can understand it. If you understand it, trust me, you will get better control over it. And anytime you have better control over anything, whether it's financial or other measurements, if you have better control, you can undoubtedly make improvements. This represents all the ammunition that you need for better cost control in your business. Measure it, understand it, control, and improve it. So it gives you the ammunition to make more positive cost control in your business. It also will allow you to have the detailed information you need to understand your cost structure. There's some things that you or me as well in my business that we can't control, that are just out of our control. I can't control the fuel cost any more than most of you can. But the reality is, we have to at least be aware of our cost structure. And as a result of doing this entire process, I think we have the opportunity to improve our bottom line results. Will this be perfect? I will just confess that no, it will not be perfect. However, I would suggest that if you follow this process of measuring, understanding, controlling, and improving, and do a regular budget versus actual comparisons, as I do for all my clients on a monthly basis, you will capture things that are getting out of hand long before anyone else is even aware of them. And I'm not taking anything away from the accountants with quarterly, semi-annual, or annual financial reports. They do wonderful work. The reality is, the responsibility is on you and me to catch these things on a monthly basis and stay ahead of the curve, if you will. So again, regular budgets versus actual results those comparisons on a regular basis are just huge. Uh, it will also allow you to create action commitments. Set up goals for your business. Okay, our labor is up 14% from last year, for example. Well, why is that? Did we add people, or is it just because the hourly wages went up? Whatever it is, it allows you to take measure of that, and more importantly, make improvements. Maybe we can automate something. Maybe we can streamline this. And I'm not trying to add to the unemployment rate. I just want to add to your success. And when you set these objectives, set these goals, be sure to share them with your business partners or your spouse, your bankers, and most importantly, perhaps your employees. Because all of this sharing creates what I call an accountability team. And I think that leads to more positive results. And frankly, just in case you don't think this is important, you will be the biggest beneficiary of these improvements. So I often think that bankers, for example, come to us and they're picking at us about little things, the measurements, and I call those musts sometimes. That's an acronym for making up stuff to scare themselves. But all joking aside, these may not appear noteworthy, but I think in most cases they're acting with your best interest in mind. And frankly, what they're doing is prepping us for times just as these, such as what we're going through right now, with rising costs where things are getting a little out of hand, perhaps on the cost structure side. And so I think we need to take consideration of these musts. Maybe they aren't just trying to scare themselves. Maybe they're making sure that we're aware of what's going on. So prepping us for these difficult times. Again, I want to thank you for listening today. I'm John Ellsworth, founder of Success Strategies Incorporated and the creator of the Success Strategies Advantage, and I want to help you. So let's take your business to the next level. Thank you very much.